Hey everybody, it's your girl August, and today our topic is bringing logic back to love. And what does that mean? Well, y'all know when we're in love, our brains go out the door. They say love makes you do crazy things and do anything for love, and all those things where you just open your heart completely, you throw everything out, and you just want to just love can just make you just believe anything is possible. And of course, it doesn't mean that it's not. It's just that we're going to talk about how that's not always the best thing and how we need to reel that back a little and put logic back into it to avoid so many things that are happening now in the state of love in general. Um, we have people that are just really, having a hard time and difficulty navigating love, especially in the time of social media. So much of that is affecting love itself as well, and so we're going to talk today about what are those things that are kind of playing a role in our love lives, in our relationships, and how they might be affecting it, and how we can bring logic into those situations to make it, to try to remedy that, or to try to, or somehow get around that to getting back to what we actually want out of our relationships, which is a loving, healthy relationship. Let's go right into it, okay? Let's talk about children and having children, when to have children, when the topic of children should come up, and when it should actually be brought into a relationship. And in my opinion, again, these are all my opinions and what I've learned from observing healthy relationships. A child is a huge commitment. A child is, as far as I'm concerned, a bigger commitment than marriage. You can get out of a marriage. You cannot get out of a child. You have a child with someone, you are connected with them for a minimum of 18 years. That is a long-term bond that you're bonded to that person's family, to that forever. In essence, and forever. You have your child forever until you die. That is a very important That's very important. And not to say that people are not taking that seriously. It's just that I think, again, with love, we are clouded by love. And I don't think we actually think deeply about anything when all your concern is with that person and want to maintain being with that person. You throw so many things out the window. And so often, maybe the full thought process of having a child and what it takes and what that child means can get lost in the sauce too. There's nothing to say that that's not protected from the fog of love as well. Okay? So, let's get a little deeper with that. Oftentimes, sometimes relationships, when you meet that person, you want to be just bound with them and you want to bring that child into it, and you see it as being the glue that's going to just make you guys either stay together or bring you together. If you know that you are not together really, you might see that child as being used as a glue. And I'm saying this again on both sides. This goes for males and females. Really have to understand that if you bring a child into a relationship prior to a marriage, because again, that's a big commitment. It should go marriage, it should go child. And not to be like, oh, I'm just being a traditionalist or anything like that. There is a good reason behind that. Because if someone is open, let's put it this way, because not everybody is big on marriage. And again, we are talking about my opinion here, okay? So some of the people might hear this and be like, oh, marriage is nothing to me, nothing, I would never get married, but I'll have a child. That's your exception to this. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm talking to people who desire marriage, people who not only want that but seek that, okay? So if you are seeking that and you want that, let's talk about the steps here. If you are with a relationship with somebody who also admits to wanting that and seeking that themselves, you have to question, why would it be okay to have the child first before that major commitment of marriage? Why, if this person is not ready to marry you, would they be okay with you having a child? Okay, we're gonna get into some deep stuff here. It's gonna sound crazy. Some people might rub some people the wrong way or something, but We're here to talk about things, okay? Children on both sides. You have to be aware it can be used as, I don't want to use pawn as a hard word to say when talking about a child, but we have to be on, again, we're having open, honest conversation. They can be used as tools sometimes, to tools of ownership. And what do I mean by that? Okay, I don't like her. Well, I like her. I don't want to marry her though. She's not the one. But I don't want nobody else to have her. What can I do? Put a baby in her, you mine forever. We all know, we see this all day long, where you got these guys out here that are having babies with multiple women, no intention whatsoever of marrying this woman. This is the woman is not the one, but guess what? You can't have her either because she's my baby mama. And a lot of times you see these baby mamas and baby daddy situations as you belong to them forever, and they know that. And this is what we're talking about, being careful and putting the logic again back into love and seeing, why would this be, okay, just think about that. So they have you now, so your child is actually being used as a tool to keep you tied to someone. And again, be very clear on this. This is something that guys and girls do, okay? Because we hear in society so many times the male, female version I just gave, with a guy saying, "Oh, I'm gonna put impregnate this lady so she can be with me." Same thing with women. Women be like, "Okay, I want this guy," knowing, because again, women, we have so much strong intuition. We tend to know things with our intuition ahead of time. So you might see this guy leaving. You might not see this guy, don't think you can hold on to him, but if I give him a child and get this bond with us, it's harder for him to leave. On both ends with guys and girls, it doesn't ever work out well. I mean, there's a reason why people come up with all kind of baby mama, baby daddy issues. Why, when you say baby mama, baby daddy, why is always something negative that comes out of that? Again, not speaking to the exception of people, not everybody has this angry baby mama, baby daddy relationship. But the fact that when we hear baby daddy, baby mama, we think about something, we think conflict. We think, okay, oh, baby mom, baby daddy issues, all the songs we come up with, baby daddy, baby mom, is always something conflicting or rough. Because, again, you were in a situation where you postponed a major commitment and skipped and made the biggest commitment. That's kind of off right there. If they couldn't commit to you and be locked down with you in a marriage, don't ever go and have no baby with somebody. Like, don't bring a forever commitment with them. That's a red flag. It is a red flag for anyone to try and to offer to bring a child in or try to get you to have a child with them if you know they haven't made the first commitment with you. Again, not saying this to rub people the wrong way. I'm just speaking in general, why you may want to think really heavily before you do that and make sure that this person is not trying to put ownership over you by locking you down somehow, by bringing a child in to tie you with them for life, knowing that they're not going to get that other commitment from you. Okay, so just kind of food for thought there. And well, another thing here affecting relationships, social media. Oh gosh, social media in general. Social media is ruling a lot of what's going on in our relationships. By ruling, I mean like taking over a lot of what's happening in relationships, especially in Black love. When you see now online, it is just like man versus woman, man versus woman. It is getting nasty, it's getting ugly. It is male versus female. And so much of it is so much convolution behind that, because you have angry men and you have angry women, and they're finding solitude online with each other, and it's a misery loves company thing. It's like, soon as a guy sees someone saying something negative about a woman, they jump in and they're cheering for it because that misogynist person just found a place and they found someone or somewhere to go where they can express their hate for women. Same thing with women that hate men. It's like they go to the internet where you can always find misery loves company. You can always find a company online. Okay, so to help remedy that, like really, again, bring logic back, Bring the thought process back to that when you're into social media. Do not let social media tell you. Social media is a form of media, and media in general has a tendency to put out what they want you to think and feel. Okay? So they're pushing ahead all this negativity between men and women, and then you go out into the real world and it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? People are doing just fine, quite frankly. People are doing good with each other. But when they bring this social media into it, it's like you would think there's this horrible firestorm within relationships, and I feel like the remedy for that is not only to just step back away from social media, but watch the pages that you're following. I purposely go and follow like Black Healthy Love. There's literally a page I think called Black Love, Black Healthy Love, Healthy Black Love, like healthy love in general. Follow pages that show healthy love, because then you'll see and you're being hit with actual healthy, happy love stories instead of going on to these, blog sites and everything like that where it's always the opposite, and you sit there and you think and you embed in your mind, especially when you keep seeing it is popular now for people to just blast negative relationships or people cheating on each other. That's the first thing you see is such and such cheating on somebody. Oh my God. But meanwhile, there's a ton of relationships that are doing just fine, and they're healthy relationships out there. But you're inundated with these just images and stories of the bad side. So you really need to just get that out of your system and really just need to detox all of the negative sites that you're following, negative people that you're following that don't have anything good to say about love. It's always good to be cautious and again putting the logic back in love, but it's a fine line from logic and pure toxicity, okay? So just make sure you're filling your heart and your mind with actual healthy love, love examples. Don't feel rushed. Don't feel rushed and feel like rushing leads to desperation. A lot of times that can lead to you making a rash decision about who is going to be the father or mother of your child, because you're not ready to be patient for the right one to come along, or you are not listening to your voice and your intuition when it says this person may not be it. Give it some time to find out. Usually if you're rushing into that, it's because you're still in the fogs of love and you don't want to make any major decisions in the fogs of love. Okay, wait till you settle. Wait, give it that year or time. There's no rush for anything. And some people might think, oh, they're running out of time, or they don't think it's possible. There's a lot, especially in our community, of the idea where marriage just isn't realistic to some people, they think. And again, that's what the social media images are putting out. Other things influence you. And if you feel like you're letting anything else influence you to make those decisions other than pure logic in that sense, you need to take a step back even more so, because again, bringing that child and that lifelong commitment with that child is a big deal that needs to be thought about, thoroughly as possible. And just to give you guys an idea that how that happens all the time, despite what you again might social media might tell you or what you might be influenced to hear, before you think marriage isn't a possibility or it's not a truth or anything, it very much is so. I myself am one of 5 girls. I'm one of 10 children actually, 5 girls, 5 boys. I'm the only sister that is not married. Okay, all my sisters are not only are they married, they are married to their first husbands. They had their children with their husbands. All of them had their children with their husbands. There are no children outside of their marriages. They're all married, children with their husbands, and all but one had their children after they were married. Okay. So that's already 4 women right there. Okay, 4 black women, and their black husbands. So it is much so possible. It happens all day long, but according to a lot of what you will see and you might influenced by media, you wouldn't even think that's possible. But again, that happens all the time. So always stand on faith and understanding, and just know that if you put a negative thought out that won't happen for you, then it simply won't. All my sisters believe that they would find their husbands and they would find that they would have their kids. The one that has the most kids says she wanted a lot of kids, and she has a lot of kids with her husband, So these are all, we all come from a line of women of just positive thinking, enlightened women, and it's nothing to think second about. I know if I wanted kids and I want to be married, I would be, So it's like, it's mine decision has been my decision to be where I am in life, So and I have no lack of faith whatsoever if I ever wanted that to change. And that's what you have to that's what we have to do as well. Have to put that thinking cap on, and put that belief cap on, because that's what God gave you. He gave you a mind to think and to believe. So think that well and through, because He gave us women that He gave us that intuition. That intuition is naturally there for us to vet men. That's why you hear some men to say, "Well, a woman is going to try you. A woman to try men." Well, that trying that God instilled you to do with the man is part of the vetting situation. He wants you to make a very good decision before you build a family with a man, because they're going to be the ones that are supposed to watch over you and your child. Okay, so again, same with men. The woman that you decide to be the mother of your child, be careful with this wanting to put ownership on people and on these women, because you don't know who that woman's going to be and how they're going to treat you, and how they're going to treat your child. Okay, so you should always be looking for queens to be the mother of your children. Look for queens and make sure they are queen status, because they're going to be raising your future kings and your future queens. Okay, so you should be vetting the women just like the women need to be vetting these men before you take such a major step. I mean, we can see right now in the media some examples of people horribly disrespecting the mothers of their own children in front of their children, and it's very sad. Knowing, if you are someone again that knows that they want to be married, it should be your wife having your child. Okay, so if you have not been able to say that that's my wife's status, you shouldn't be wanting to just put babies everywhere. It's illogical. It doesn't make sense. Why would you want that? You created a forever bond with someone that's going to potentially affect the person that you really want to be with. Again, men and women, why create extra stress, and why do that? It doesn't make sense. It can be negative all around. It has a potential to be negative all around. Again, not always, but it just doesn't make sense. So just, again, we're talking about bringing logic back to love in these decisions. So with that, and we talked about social media interference. So overall, I think the point would be, my final thought here is, for everyone, men, if you find yourself meeting a female, before men often, we say men kind of know pretty soon how they want this woman to play a role in their life. Before you go any further with the woman, take her out the picture, take yourself out the picture, and put another man there. Put another man there and put your daughter in front as a place of the woman. Would you want this man, with what you're about to do with this woman, to do that to your daughter? Okay, to go through whatever you're about to put her through. Do you want that to be for your daughter? If you cannot say yes, then don't do it. Okay, I hear people saying, "Oh, Nick Cannon has all these kids, and he can afford these kids, so it's fine." Okay, if you really agree with that, are you okay with your daughter being one of the women that he's having all the kids with? Would you praise that? Would you be glad, like, my daughter picked a good man, and this is what I want for my daughter? This is good. If you can say that, then okay, that's fine. Again, everybody's decision. But if you can't, be true to yourself. Okay, be real. Be true to yourself. You want your daughter in a situation. Do not put a woman in that situation that you would not want your own child to be in, or your own sister, or your own mother. But always put your daughter first, because that's tend to be the people that you love the most. You wouldn't want to see them hurt that way. Then don't do that to somebody else, because energy and karma works in a very interesting way, and I'm gonna have a whole another video on that later. But just be wary and careful of that. Same thing with women. For women, vet the men. Vet them very well before you open your womb to anyone. Wait for the ring. If you want to be married, wait for your ring, because that's a major commitment. That's even more major than marriage. And just be very wary of anyone that wants to put a baby in you before putting a ring on your finger. That is mega red flag. That is the ultimate red flag, and that needs to be questioned. Okay. So those are my final thoughts. Love freely, of course, but just bring the logic back into love. And do unto others that you want to love as you would want them to do to your own child. Okay? So, go out there, good luck out there, be careful again. All these are my opinions, and there's exceptions to everything I talked about. But again, this is my channel to express my views and opinions on things. And if it's for you and you're here to hear more, stick around. I have more videos coming up. And if anything I said here, rubbed you the wrong way or made you feel anything out of your comfort zone, I always bring back one of the four agreements. Never take anything personally. Nothing I said has a name on it. So when you find yourself being struck or feeling a certain way about anything we talked about, listen to it over and over again until you don't feel offended, because nothing I say should be offensive. No stranger should be able to offend you. You have to look into yourself and take your ego out of the situation and just understand that anything that you've gone through, you're not your past at all. Everything happens in life as it should. This is more for people that haven't been in that situation yet. Again, to bring conversation and awareness for us to just bring back logic into our love and going forth that way. Okay, you guys, so that's it for today's topic of bringing logic back into love. I hope this has brought you some type of, stirred something in you, some conversation started amongst you and your friends, or amongst you guys in the comments, anything. Because again, I bring these topics up for conversation and just bring again my view, my observations, my opinions on these topics. Okay, so again, feeling type of way about it, these are my truths. So live in your truth, and I will see you guys on the next video.